This is Kristen from Declarations of a Fangirl, and today I'm going to share with you my May wrap-up. I did pretty good. I read 11 books. No, 12 books. I read or listened. I did a lot on audiobooks, and I have all but one book that I have in my possession. The one book that I don't have, I got on audiobook from the library. So, without further ado, let's get started on what I read / listened to this month. In no particular order, we have Demon from the Dark by Kresley Cole. I listened to this on audiobook. I've read this book, I've listened to this book. This was a reread / re-listen for me. I love her books. I've not been secretive about how much I love her books. So, Demon from the Dark by Kresley Cole. Next, we have Wicked Abyss, also by Kresley Cole. This one kind of has a Beauty and the Beast vibe to it. And I've read this, listened to it, another re-listen. Whichever one's available at my library, I download it into my Overdrive app and just lose myself in her world. Next up, we have Omega by Lizzy Ford. I already have a review for this up on my blog. Next, The Shadow Queen by CJ Redwine. Again, review up on my blog. This little book here, nice little thin book, I read in about an hour and a half. It's Hot Houston Nights Part 1, Graham and Isabella story by S.N. Garza. This is my friend Stephanie, who lives in Houston. And there's 3 of these, 3 parts, and I just got something else in the mail from her I'm super excited about. You'll see that in another video. Next up, we have The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. I listened to this one on audiobook, and I had to make myself finish it. I kind of slogged through it, and it's not that it wasn't interesting. The subject was interesting. I just, for some reason, couldn't get into it very well. But I finished it. Next, we have Freak of Nature by Julia Crane. Review up on my blog. This book was very interesting, and I am looking forward to reading the next 2 books. The Coldest Girl in Coldtown by Holly Black. Once again, another audiobook listen. I got the audiobook from my library. I really enjoyed it. No review up on my blog yet for this one. I'm not sure if I'll review it or not. So many people have read this book and are familiar with this book, so I'm not sure if I'll review this one or not, but I finished it. It was a doozy, but I enjoyed it. I listened to it mainly on audiobook while I was in the car driving around doing errands. Next up, we have The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torre. Right? Yes, A.R. Torre. This book was really interesting. I tabbed a good bit of it. There's a review for it up on my website. Not my website, my blog. Like I'm all fancy, my website. No, up on my blog. And I think I gave this one 4 or 4.5 stars. It was a really good read. And I was pleasantly surprised to learn through Goodreads that there are 2 more books in this series. So I will be on the lookout for those in the near future. Now this was the little gem in my TBR that got me better than I thought it would get me. Sometimes you get a book that, it's unexpected and you're just reading around. And you're like, okay, this is a solid read and a solid read. And then you're just like, what? Falling by Tara Benham. I am friends with this author, and I messaged her, and I was like, I don't know who you think you are, but you cannot end a book that way. Thank goodness I have the full trilogy, because oh my goodness, this book, 4 stars. I still need to review it. I will be writing a review for this one soon up on my blog, but oh my goodness, this book. Second to last, but certainly not least, I listened to The Rose Society by Marie Lu on audiobook from the library. I listened to Young Elites maybe last month or the month before, and so I'm just quietly making my way through this trilogy. It's good. It's not, oh my gosh, you gotta read this good, but it's good, and I am looking forward to seeing how the last book is, and I'm very interested in seeing how Adelina's character progresses, because right now she totally feels like an unreliable narrator for me. and the end of this book kind of caught me off guard. So I need to get into the last book and see what's going to happen here. The last book that I finished this month was If There Is No Tomorrow by Jennifer Lynn Armentrout. I listened to it on audiobook, and it was a good read. I gave it 3.5 stars. I finished it in one evening. It was good enough to keep me going, and oh my goodness, it made me sob. But I don't know. I felt like the main character beat herself up way too much over it, and wouldn't talk to anybody about it, and it drove me crazy. So I knocked off 0.5 star for that, because she was just driving me crazy. But otherwise, it was an enjoyable, not enjoyable because it broke my heart, but it was an engaging read, and I enjoyed it, I guess. I enjoyed it. It gave me a good cry and cleansed my sinuses, so, you know. I would like to touch on the books that I either started reading and don't know if I'm going to finish, started reading and plan to finish, started reading and probably won't finish, and the books that I didn't even start. These are books from my TBR, and then there's a couple, well, no, they're all from my TBR. So, let's see what we got. First up, Lacy I by Jessica Treadway. This was my rereadathon, but it's not a reread for me, but the subject was moms. And I got over halfway through it, and I accidentally stumbled upon a mildly spoilery review on Goodreads, and I can't remember who posted it, and I'm not mad that I caught it, that I saw it or whatever, but I think what she said was, who did it, who you think did it. So, I'm not sure if I'll finish it or not. I'm kind of half and half by it, so I don't know. We'll see. Next up, this book I will be finishing, and I'm mad at myself that I didn't get farther into it. This is one of those books that I think I'm just going to have to take my time and just curl up with my blanket and a nice big cup of tea or coffee and just set aside some time and lose myself in it. And that is Asylum 54.0 by, I'm not even going to say your name. She knows who she is, and she knows I love her, and she knows that I'm not going to butcher her name anymore. But I will be finishing this book. The other book that I'm determined to finish is Broken Faith by Brandy Nacole. This one is okay. This one I think is going to be good. I'm still in the, I'm right there. I'm still in the world building section of it, and I think once the action really picks up, it's going to be good, and it's going to be a quick read for me. So I plan on finishing this one. Next, we're up to the books that either I didn't get to, or I started reading and I'm not going to finish reading them for one reason or another. The Corpse Exhibition by Hassan Blasim. I did not even get to this one, but I will, because I need a translation for it's either my year-a-thon or my do-a-decathon reading challenge. So this is the only book I have that's translated. So I will be getting this. And because they're short stories, I think it'll go quicker, because it'll be, once I finish a story, it'll feel like a little bit of accomplishment for completing it. So, A Darkness Strange and Lovely was my Rita library book, and I counted it. This one, I'm pretty sure I've read it. So, I'm not too broken up that I haven't finished it yet. Or that I didn't read it. I know I've read the first one, and I need to finish the series, so I might reread this one in the near future, and so I can tackle the third book. This is the book that I started reading, and I don't have any immediate plans to finish reading it, but that's because I've already read it. And this is Alice in Zombieland by Gena Showalter. Can you see I got that far? So, I got about halfway through it, and, well, I guess a little under half. I had the audiobook too, so I was listening to that as well. It's just, I've already read it. It's good, but I've already gone through this world. I need to read the fourth book, so I should probably reread the other ones before I read the fourth book, because it's been a long time since I read this. But I'm not ready to get into this world right now, so this will be set back on the shelf for a later date. Last but not least, I didn't get to it. I tried to listen to the audiobook because there were so many good things about the audiobook, about how all the different voices, make it so much easier and so much more enjoyable to listen to it. And I just couldn't. And I don't know if it's, I had this in my mind, I have this stigmata over this book. I will get to it. Because I did not read it, I will put it back in my TBR jar for a later date. That is all I have for you today. Please stay tuned for the next couple of days because I will be posting my haul, my May haul. And you will notice I will have the same shirt on because I am filming both of these reviews today so that I can get them done and up and out of the way because I have a few reviews that I need to get done, and so I'm busy, super busy with some fun books. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.